I, I think this time I should know the episode because we've done 3 in a row. Any chance you know the episode off the top of your head? I want to say 56, but I could be wrong.
On my way back yesterday, I was listening to it and I didn't even look at the episode.
Okay, let me. I'm gonna do that now. So we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good podcast host, and we are going to know exactly what episode we're on now. Unfortunately, we're not in the studio today. My fault because I'm running. This is episode 56. Yep, episode 56. So, yes, I'm running today. I'm actually supposed to be in Dallas right now. Just some client work, but I won't make that today because I've got some other stuff. And then I'm going to a wedding in Oklahoma City this weekend. So I'll be down there. I'm gonna try to catch up with Taylor on Saturday also. Yeah, I'm gonna go try and see Taylor. So tell us about what's been going on with you, sir. You're supposed to be in the final pairing of the tournament you were in. So tell people what's going on, how that went for you.
Golf is golf. So I felt like I played well. I missed the cut by 1. That's the last 2 PGA National Championships. I've missed it by 1 ever since I made the PGA in 2017. So it's kind of hurts because I know I can do it. But there's a guy named Jesse Mueller who's leading right now. He was the first. We battled it out at our state junior at 9, 10 years old. And so he was one of the first golfers, I knew when I started playing golf, and he's leading the tournament here. I think he's got a 5-shot lead. So
yep.
There's some other guys like Ben Kern, Jared Jones, Nick Ishii I played with at the Texas State Open, got to know pretty well, and they're all right there, top 10, so I'm rooting for them. I'm excited for them. Obviously there's a side of me that's like, it's killing me, but that's golf. You have your ups and downs. So
interesting event there because they have a 36-hole cut and then a 54-hole cut.
Correct. So they cut to the top. So there's 312 players. So there's 41 sections in the United States, PGA of America. Each section gets allotted a certain amount of spots based on their participation amount of players. We get 7. I guess I was 4th for our section. We had 3 guys make the cut: Omar, Uresti, Ben Kern, and Jared Jones. And so, the first day I was cruising along, I was playing the main course, the championship course. I was getting frustrated. My 17th hole is a par 5. It's 340 to the bottom where a creek runs through. So, but it's down 15 yards. So I'm like, I'm going to chip cut a driver. Perfect. Right down the middle. Get up there, we don't find it, but then we find it in the hazard, but it's playable. But I'm thinking, okay, it's teed up here. Excuse me.
Bless you.
The allergies are still killing me. But I was debating, I'm so frustrated because I'm even par and, I've been hitting it well, just haven't been making putts. And so I try to play it and I go right under it. So it goes down. So then I take drop. Hit it on the green, 3-putt, make my triple. So I finished with a triple, then I hit it to 5 feet on the last one, par 3, missed that. So I shoot 74 and I'm just livid. But I'm like, tell my family and friends, how about you guys go eat? I'm just going to go to the hotel room, trying to be professional, good attitude. Yeah. And so they go do that. They come back. I'm dead. I fell asleep within like 5 minutes. It's amazing what golf mentally exhausts.
Oh yeah.
So, I come out the next day, I'm feeling good, got my attitude right. The putter just was not clicking, so I had a couple 3-putts. I was knocking it tight, hitting it well, missing those. Finally, I roll in like a 10-footer for birdie. And then I make a birdie, and then I have a drivable par 4. I knock it on the fringe left, misjudge the chip, leave it about 8 feet short, lip it out. And then I birdie par 5. So then I knock it like 12 feet on 17 and 12 feet on 18. And I know I've got to make one of those to make it. And they didn't go in. So the one that hurts the most is the last putt, straight uphill, because this course is kind of weird. They're really grainy. They're really fast downhill and super slow uphill. And I'm like, you got to get it there. You got to give it extra. and I gave it extra, but it that far short, dead in the heart. And I'm like, that figures. So I tap in, shoot by 70, miss the cut by 1. So I shoot 74, 70, miss by 1.
Yeah, I was going to text you.
Yeah, as the tournament goes on, because we don't, a lot of these guys did play on tour.
Yeah.
All played pretty big events, but, we don't play full time anymore. So if you can just get through the cut, the scores just keep climbing. I mean, every year, even par, couple over gets through the PGA because they're tough courses. They set them up tough. And if you can handle the pressure, which I feel like I'm pretty good at that, you just hang around long enough, you're going to finish there in the top 20. So, but, I'm glad to see a couple of my good buddies growing up playing junior golf, and some guys from Houston are doing well. So,
so I was going to text you. I was following the scores online, and I saw the 7 you made. And when I saw that 7, I said, I'm not even going to text him. Like, I left it alone at that point.
Yeah, and I was frustrated going into that hole.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, you're just like, what the hell? Because you feel like, you should be playing. So I hit it nearly every green regulation, and I hit a perfect. It really chaps my ass when you hit it down. I do not chip cut my driver 341 yards.
Yeah, to have that happen.
No wind.
Yeah.
It already was into me right to left, which should kind of hold the cut. And, and then I should have just taken my relief but I was like, what, I can get this to a better number. It's teed up, but I didn't realize the grass was like this thick, and I just right under it. And then I chipped up, and then I caught a flyer. So I go to the back of the green. I thought I was going to have trouble keeping on the green from like 50 feet, but it was into the green downhill.
Yeah.
So I get about halfway there, and I have like 20 feet for double. And I'm like, and then I hit it tight on the last hole. But, I think it was more mental, just so frustrated. I was trying to, do all my mental game stuff, but, the frustration probably got the best of me. So.
Well, congratulations to those who are playing well. There'll be more tournaments in the future. Let's talk about someone who may still not be playing PGA Tour tournaments in the near future, although he did put his name in for the U.S. Open in Southern Hills, right? PGA
Championship. Yeah, you just got to keep rubbing that in, right?
I know, right? So Phil did put his name in for the U.S. Open as a player. And right now, since this whole Saudi Golf League and Greg Norman and all that, and I did make a mistake last week, I didn't realize Greg Norman was connected. I thought Liv and Saudi were two different.
Yeah, I had a conversation at the tournament. They're like, no, they're connected.
They're connected. So I did make a mistake last week after I read more into it. But what do you think? Okay, we didn't really get a chance to talk about Phil. He's a Champions Tour guy already. He can go out there and probably still make a lot of money, but I think he prefers to be on the.
He won a major last year on the PGA Tour, so
that's what I'm saying. So, what is he even going to defend his PGA at this point? Has he really tarnished his reputation? What are your thoughts?
I think it's kind of like Tiger. Tiger's done stuff in the past, and worse than what Phil said. I think with his wife, the affair and all that stuff. Time kind of heals everything. If he starts doing, I've noticed these big time, celebrities, athletes, they just kind of go away for a while and let people forget about it. And then they start doing something, charitable, and make their way back. I think he'll be fine. He's huge benefit for golf, the PGA Tour, the Saudi League, wherever. I'm just surprised that he made the comments he did when it's a touchy subject, so he's the last person I thought would do that. But as he's gotten older, he's gotten funnier on Instagram, and he's got a loose lip, and he's kind of saying how he feels. And I respected that because for most of his career, you kind of felt like he was, politically correct, and, just he was coached, trained so well. But, he crossed the line with the Saudi comments, and he's paying a big consequence. So,
it looks like they've still got, guys that are going over there. You've got about 4 or 5 names that people know, like Westwood and
They're the guys in their, twilight of their PGA careers, and they're big names still, and it'll give them, I think it'll go that way. It's hard to say how that's all going to play out. I don't know enough about it. I hear the 8 events and last place is $1 million.
Yeah, last place is $1 million.
Crazy. Yeah. You wouldn't do that, you know?
And Robert Garrigus said the PGA Tour made a hard line and said that if anyone joins that, they lose their status on the PGA Tour.
Now, how do the legalities work with that?
That's the problem. So Robert Garrigus, for those of you who probably aren't as familiar with Robert Garrigus, he's been kind of a middle of the road tour player. He's approaching 50 already.
Yeah, so he kept his card. Every 2 years you'll see him up there in contention, but he's probably
won a couple times on tour, not like an average PGA Tour career where he's suing the tour because to your point, what's the legality for you to say that I lose status just because I go play?
I can go play the European Tour. I can go play the Australasian Tour. I can go play Corn Ferry. All these tours. Just because it's not affiliated with you, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, so I'm going to be.
I'm not defending the Saudis or where the money's coming from or anything. I don't know enough about all that, but you can't. Come on.
To me, I think it doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And they're just the PGA Tour is looking out for themselves and their players, and they but I don't see how that's legal.
Yeah, I don't either. I completely agree with you on that too. And
because if they do that rule, then they need to do that across
for everything. Yes, yeah, you shouldn't even be able to play in the match that they have on CBS or whatever. Like that should be
money grab stuff.
Yeah, because that's all that is just a couple $1 million for you to show up on TV.
In the Super League, that's an official golf tournaments.
Yes, yes.
Those are championship golf tournaments. I don't see just because politically you don't agree like where the money's coming from, but where is a lot of this other money coming from?
Hey, that's where people don't like to get into it. Like we know that, it's very difficult to make $1 billion without potentially screwing some people over. So
unless you
coming up with that money is hard.
Bitcoin back when it was a penny,
Even still, that's hard to do. So, and keeping on the money conversation. So we have our first official, well, not the first official, but the first big name NIL in golf. So for those of you not familiar with NIL, it's the name, image, and likeness. For the most part, it's just been football and basketball players in college who've been able to benefit from this. Football players we've got guys making millions of dollars to play college football now off their name, image, and likeness. Well, golf got its first. How many
would you say are making that? Like a dozen?
I would say you have.
I guess at
least quarterbacks. Like you have 20 quarterbacks at least making $1 million. Think about like just SEC alone. I think if you're a starter in an SEC school besides Vanderbilt and even Vanderbilt might have a.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So any town you're in and they have a major, like say Power 5 conference.
Exactly.
Like they may not be good. Like Iowa State's good, but I'm thinking
but they're still going to have one person.
They got those locals that live and die by them, and so like their star players are going to make money because they're going to
exactly. But golf.
Here's how that jersey sells.
Golf finally got one though. That's a popular one, big name.
Who's
so that? John Daly's son is at Arkansas now, and John Daly the third, I think he is. I think he's the third because John Daly is the second. Okay. But either way, John Daly the third has a deal with Hooters. It's on brand. It is on brand. So
I wonder if there's rules with like, can Pornhub sponsor a call?
I think so. But why not? Hooters is the naming rights. So he has a picture and I'll try to find it and put it in our thumbnail. He has a picture of him with 2 Hooters waitresses on the golf course. It's on brand. It's definitely on brand.
Good for him.
It is. So I'm sure.
Because college golf, I'm amazed at how much college golf they're showing these days. It's crazy.
And with this NIL, let's just say he wears a Hooters patch on his bag or something like that.
Well,
That's going to help him.
Might be able to have a say with that, right?
I don't know. I mean, well, I guess he can do stuff after his rounds or something like that. Maybe while he's on official college.
He could wear like a Hooters bracelet or something.
Yeah. Something will be Hooters, I'm sure. A pin on his hat, maybe his ball mark. Something is going to be Hooters while he's playing. And I think it's on brand. And I'm eager to see, like, could you imagine when Tiger was at Stanford or Morikawa was at Cal, or all the Oklahoma State guys?
Radar, but like Matt Wolff, he had the funky swing after that first national championship. Everyone saw it. And he could have, I think, got something.
Or even Anthony Kim at OU. Like, there would have been guys with personalities who would have made millions just on their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Like, things have changed. So I just wanted to kind of mention that some. And then on the money train, the last one, before we talk about this two-man event, is Jordan Spieth inspired by what Scheffler did? Because somehow he came back and won last week in Harbor Town.
For some reason in my head, I linked those two together. I get it, they're from UT. Yep. They're from Dallas, but to me, following golf, and I was a college coach when Scheffler, made his way to UT, and I've always felt bad for Scheffler. Obviously, I don't feel bad for him anymore. He's got a lot of money in the bank, but he was always, no one talked about him. I mean, he was Jordan Spieth's shadow. He's a couple years younger, all that. But the kid is so good, and he won a U.S. Junior Am. He did a lot of great things, but no one really talked about him. It was all about Jordan. But long term, and I've said this for a while, because it's hard to, Jordan had that 2013 to 15, and then he won that British in like 17. But like he was on a hot streak that you rarely see in the game, And long term, it's hard to say if Scheffler or Justin Thomas are going to get to 4 majors, because that's just a hard thing to do. You get 4 chances a year. But, and if we're going to grade them on majors, I don't know who's going to have a better career, But if you bring all the tournaments, the World Golf Championships, the tour events, tour wins, I would put Justin Thomas and Scotty Scheffler above Jordan Spieth. But so are they going to get to 4 majors? I would say probably. But
but Justin Thomas didn't go to UT though, right?
No, but he was Jordan.
He was a part of that group. Yeah. Okay.
He was his best friend in junior golf.
So I pulled up this thing for UT golfers, and I wanted to get your opinion. So this is a perfect time, just because with Spieth winning, Scheffler playing good, and just I kept saying, like, man, I used to think like Oklahoma State dominated college golf. But I started pulling up some names. You know what? UT has something to say about this. So you've got Spieth, Fratelli, Scheffler, Vegas, Hostler right now as active players would win. Doug Gim.
Hickok, did he win?
Yep, Kramer hit, but he hasn't won though. He hasn't won.
Oh, he lost that playoff?
I don't remember him winning. Hold on, let me look. I could be wrong.
Connecticut last year.
But those are guys right now on tour they've got 8 guys right now on tour that have a tour win. I mean, I don't know if any other college can say that.
And what's crazy is they don't have more national championships these last 10 years or so.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Jordan in 2012, I believe they won. But I mean, Doug Gim, and the guys you don't hear about that, like Gavin Hall. That guy was he's still trying to make it. Yeah. They had, playing number 2, Doug Gim playing number 1. These guys.
Doug Gim playing number 1. Yeah.
And people just don't realize how many good players there were. And it goes to the match play aspect too. Anything can happen. UT, kind of screwed Oklahoma State a couple of years ago. They won. Remember, they won the stroke play by 50, beat UT by like 90, and then they get knocked out first time by.
Isn't that the year? Was that the year OU won?
No. OU won 17. That one I feel like was 19 or 20. It was right at COVID time.
I do remember that though. I do remember. So just kind of just thinking, like, I was like, man, like the golf world right now, if you really think about it, at least coming out of college, is dominated by the Southwest. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma, Texas.
They got good. Yeah. I mean, they got I'd have to look into it. Sorry, I keep looking over. I'm watching the replay.
Oh, you're fine.
But my boy Jesse Mueller just make another birdie. So
he's going in.
So speaking of college, Grand Canyon University out in Phoenix. You hear about online now, right? So Jesse's Mueller's dad is the president of Grand Canyon University.
Wow.
And he was one of the guys that I believe founded or was a CEO of University of Phoenix. And so that's how Grand Canyon became into this online. So they bought a golf course and
just to have a team.
It was a muni and made a championship golf course. And his younger brother's the head coach of Grand Canyon. They're now like top 100 in the country, D1, and people have rarely heard of Grand Canyon. And Jesse's director of golf. So
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's a college, but anyways.
Yeah. So the last thing before we get out of here, the 2-man event this week at the, Zurich this week?
In New Orleans.
Yeah. So it's a 2-man event in New Orleans. Really the only kind of 2-man event that the tour has. They came out with some of the pairings, and by far the best pairing to me that doesn't even seem fair is Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland. Like, did the people just get to pick their own teams, or?
Yeah, they picked their partner. So because I was listening on PGA Tour radio yesterday driving back, someone was making fun of Ryan Palmer, like, man, you sure know how to pick those number 1 players in the world.
Scheffler. Yeah.
But the thing is, they've asked him. Apparently he's like cool guy, and he does well in those team things. But they weren't all number 1 when he played with them. Like he played with Rahm when he wasn't number 1. I think Jordan, did you play with Jordan this week, or he has played with Jordan? I think
he has played with Jordan, but this week, so the pairings to watch this week. Well, of course, I'm going to be watching Harold Varner. He's with Bubba Watson this week, so that'll be an interesting, pairing. Obviously, Josh Creel. We've got he's playing with Chad Ring.
You can invite non-tour players.
Oh, you can? I didn't know that.
Brooks invited his brother.
But he's a tour player, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I thought his brother had
status as I have.
So Creel and Ramey are playing together. So good luck to Creel. But there's one.
You get a huge tweet for them because they get the same. Now we should talk about how do you feel about it being an official?
It's an official event. Yes,
it's a team event, and Creel. Well, I hope Creel wins and gets. They'll probably do wonders for his career because all that pressure of being a rookie and whatever.
Yeah.
But how it's hard to justify giving official PGA Tour victory in the
on a scramble
exemption to 2 players when they played a amateur money game type format. Yeah, and it's kind of hard.
So I heard someone talking about that, and they said the way to maybe make it less unfair, quote unquote, is you should make it be paired with an LPGA player. So you should have it to be where not only are we highlighting the women's golf game, now it's no longer official.
When did Bubba play with Lexi?
But that was just
this, right?
Yeah, that was just like an exhibition. So it needs to be
playing this together.
Not that I'm aware of, or at least they could have, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I did hear that that'll be a way you could highlight the women's game, maybe make this less official, because it would be kind of unfair. Like Xander Schauffele hasn't won in forever, and he's playing with Patrick Cantlay, who's really been on a top 5 heater for the last 3 years. He either wins or he top 5s. So what if he wins? Does Xander all of a sudden get all these FedEx Cup points for a win at an event? That's kind of weird to me, but
yeah, and they don't, I was listening to, they don't give world golf ranking points to certain events like the Tour Championship, maybe.
Oh, you're right. You're exactly right. Yeah.
But why are they so? As far as I know, I mean, the rankings are complex how they get to where, they figure it out. But you're playing against 30 of the best players in the world. Why would that not be ranked? Just like you beat that guy, you lost to that guy. It's just a small field. But then I'm not sure. I don't think this is a world ranking event either. But the PGA Tour treats it like, you know, they
like a tour event.
Yeah,
they definitely do. So I haven't had a chance to really look into this. I will come up with something today and I'll put it on our Instagram on who I'm betting on. I can tell you right now, I'm definitely betting on Hovland Morikawa. Like, to me, that just seems like an unfair pairing.
Or are they too similar? And I don't know their games well enough. Like, because putting, they're both okay.
Yeah.
Morikawa's had his downs, but they're both great
ball strikers. Yeah. So that's why I think. That's why I'm just picking them.
Like a bomber with like a great wedge player and putter. You know, like Harold Varner say.
Yeah.
You know, like
him and Bubba. That's gonna be interesting. Him and Bubba will be interesting because Varner's been on a heater himself. Like, he really could have won Harbortown if he wouldn't have got that double on, I think it was 16. He was 12 under going into 16. So he could have easily been in that playoff. He missed the playoff on one shot. So he's been playing well. He's been playing well.
He keeps surprising me, man. I don't know. I've just seen him on TV and stuff, but you know, just he doesn't look like he's in that.
No, he does not. He does. Yeah,
but I love guys like that.
He's a scrappy player too, though. He's a scrappy player, so I like his game. But anything to give the people before we get out of here? Episode 56, Golf Performance Group podcast.
Well, what as I'm evaluating myself these last couple events to start my year, you know, I've done a poor job of my attitude, and I didn't realize it. You know, I'm trying to be positive because I'm all about mental game. But the frustration it rolled over from the Valero Monday to the Riverbend tournament, and then the Riverbend tournament to the National. And it's like, I was excited to get out there, but then the first time I missed a putt, it's like, see, I catch a flyer, see, like, you know, that's just terrible attitude to have. And it cost me. I mean, it cost me the Riverbend tournament. It cost me getting into Valero, and it cost me, playing right now. So, I'm going to be researching, working a little bit and trying to find that how I had the breathing routines down, but it's easy to pout and I'm screwed, and there's no excuse for that. I mean, everybody's going, and, for a long time I've been good about, what goes around comes around. I'm going to get a couple bad breaks. It's going to even out. We never feel like it actually ever does, but
I know what you're saying.
And I need to, program myself to get back to that before my next event. Cause I'm playing some of the best golf I can remember, especially as like a teaching pro, not playing full time. And the scores aren't reflecting it. The results aren't reflecting it. And it's all because of, a couple bad breaks in my first event that, spiraled to the second event and now third event. So you got to kind of be honest with yourself and evaluate what you need to work on, even though maybe, embarrassing. I was pouting, and I told my friends and family, I was like, how about you guys go to the bar? I can go pout in my room by myself. And I just said it. And then I laid on my bed, and then my girlfriend was mad because I didn't take a shower before I laid on the bed. And it was huge. So I was on top of the comforter. I was only planning on laying there for a second, but the next thing I know, she's like throwing something at me to wake me up. It's like, did you use soap? Because you don't smell very good. I was like, what? I didn't even get in the shower. But
I mean, it does come around. I definitely agree with you on just the law of averages. Like, at some point, you're going to be the guy on the heater, and we're going to be talking about where did this come from? In reality, it's been all of the steps that you've taken to get to that point, and consistency matters.
And it's just like anything. Golf is so similar to life.
It is.
You got to keep just plugging away, chipping away. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to make a plan, reevaluate the plan, and work on the stuff that you believe in and stick to those principles. Don't go searching. I mean, there's nothing, I'm going to research how to have a better attitude when I can't get this frustration out of my head. But, I just maybe need to take a few days, maybe not play in my next event because it's not a huge one, but I want to play in Muirfield. So I might take that off, refresh my brain before our next major for our section and US Open qualifier. So
it's all around the corner. I mean, everything's out there to get. So people will be following your journey. I'll make sure we clip some of that. So
this is the exciting part of the year for us teaching pros. We got our section majors to get tour events at the end of it, and then we have US Open qualifier. We have this national, and I would recommend watching it. It'll come on this afternoon. I mean, a lot of those guys had tour cards, but
they're good players.
They work just like you do, most of them.
Yep.
And and there's a strategy, and that's what I try to help my players with, because I do it for myself. Like, you got to focus on what you can control, and the time you do have, you got to dedicate to working on the most important things and not searching with new theory. You don't have time to change much if you're not doing it every day. Exactly. So, but I would watch them and, kind of just watch their game, how they play. They don't hit the center of the face every time. I don't hit the center of the face, but I hit most of my fairways and greens because I understand my game. I know which way it's going to curve, and I know a field to create that curve. And I just got to get my head right. So
Yep. So y'all heard it here. We'll be following this journey along throughout the remainder of the year as the playing season really kicks off. So that's episode 56. I'm Lebrano Palmer, and
JJ,
we're out.